Hey guys, welcome back to another NL Fantasy Fanatics video. I'm Will, and it'll just be me this week. So, pretty much my team's ranked 1,752 after dropping about 500 ranks. But yeah, we're looking at having used four trades this week. Just probably will be fielding 16 this week. But it's Ewan Aiken to Hassalama, who's someone we're actually very interested in. Just think he'll get big minutes, backing up from Origin with Barnett and Capel having to back up from Origin, and with Toe out for the season, we think at least 30 minutes, and it looks like an absolute gun. We think it's time that we bring in David for feeder, just considering he's been so good for the whole season, and it's just a really nervous watch. Daly Traven, someone we think is really, really underpriced, and yeah, we very much considered bringing him in, or Nathan Cleary, but we've decided to go for Daly Traven, just considering, yeah, as we said, underpriced, good draw, and who knows about Cleary's re-injury rate, or yeah, that. But and then Ryan Pappenhausen's come in over Ruben Garrick just because Garrick's got a bye left, Pappenhausen's a gun, and I just prefer watching Pappenhausen over Garrick, and I think they'll pretty much average around the same. So that's how the team looks with us just missing Yo. We do think Payne Haas will play. So it'll be 16 for this week, and then next week getting a lot of our troops back with Little, Moses, Madison, Eero. Probably going forward will just be the one trade of Dylan Lucas out next week, and then we'll try hold for the rest of the injuries. But yeah, that's where we're sitting. Also looking at maybe bringing in an Angus Crichton or an Ola Kawatu to leave more money for a Dylan Lucas trade next week, or trade out next week. But let's go on to the buy hold sell. So Nathan Cleary, personally, we have him as an avoid for the first 2 weeks. Just with, his draw, it's juicy the next 4 weeks, but we just think that just because he has such a high re-injury rate of like 10% to 12%, and it's his he's done it 3 times in the last 18 months. I do believe that it'll be tough. And he wasn't killing it at any stretch of the imagination with a 92 break even. I think that he'll drop a bit more, and you can pick it up at 800k in 2 weeks. So yeah, that's our thought. He's an avoid for now, and I'd put Daly Cherry Evans over Nathan Cleary, just considerably because we've heard that his kicking duties will be down, and he might not goal kick. So I think there's a lot of favours that are going to him as an avoid. Jack Whiten at 5'8" has kind of found a bit of form going with a 67 and a 58. 527k. I think that it is probably just a bit too late for Jack Whiten. That dual position's handy versus the West Tigers this week. You could put in a cricket score, but with a 12 break even, and the Rabbitohs find from form, it could be also a buy that just makes a bit of cash. But personally, yeah, I do think that yeah, you should have picked him up at 393k. If you're looking at him now, he's a bit too expensive. I don't think he'll get much more expensive than 560, considering these games come with a lot of attacking stats, and yeah, he doesn't kick for 548 meters very often. So I do think he is definitely an avoid right now, too expensive. Same with Jaden Campbell, 13 break even, but he's been killing it at 5'8" recently with an average of over 17 minutes when playing now, 60.3 at 5'8", and he's gone a 57, a 61, an 89, and a 67. But that 67 comes with 3 try assists, 4 goals, and that comes with 11 goals and 3 try assists. Just for me, it's the missed tackle numbers. If he has a bad game and he cuts down those turnovers and try assists, then the missed tackles are a bit of a worry. And yeah, I think the Titans, they have a toughest draw coming up with Manly, Dolphins, Broncos, Cronulla, Sydney, and Panthers, who are all top 8 sides respectively. So if they if they don't win, and Jane Campbell could miss a few tackles, but definitely hold it if you have him. He will get a dual position and should get up to 740k. But I do think that yeah, you don't look to buy him yet or anymore. It was kind of round 16, round 18, round 19. We don't look at it at all. So Chris Randall playing lock at 575k, 12 break even. A lot of people interested in him. He has gone a 66, a 57, and a 68 in the last. In the last couple of weeks. With 2 of those coming with tries, or 3 that scored 3 tries in 4 games at lock. But I just think for me that Chris Randall is kind of a bit of a trap at 757, at 575k. it's a bit too much for me. Yes, he's got a dual position, but I think that with Mo Fodawaker returning, Jermaine Jolliffe due back round 23, round 24, I think that you'll see Randall maybe stay at lock, but his minutes decrease, or Jermaine maybe go to lock. But yeah, I think that there's a better hooking and middle options around at a cheaper price point. Talking about one of them, it is then sorry. Daniel Saifidi at 410k. He's kind of come back into fantasy relevancy with a 12 break even and gone a 43, a 48, a 36 in the last 3 weeks while starting at prop and getting big minutes. He's someone that's of interest for us. We all know what he can do, average anywhere from 40 to 50, which makes him put it on big money gains. But yeah, personally, I would rank Tom Starling and Daniel Saifidi over Chris Randall, as I think they'll both make more money and they'll probably score around the same when they have, I think, more consistent spots. Keon Kalonga-Matangi, 42 break even, again playing the West Tigers. They got the West Tigers in 2 of their last 8 games. With him, he's been killing it at lock recently. Gone 104, 47, 53, 68, 69, 65. 67.7 average. I mean, he looks like an absolute keeper there. 767k. I do think he is a bit too expensive to be bringing in now. Dual position is handy, but I think there's too many unknowns with Cam Murray playing on the edge. I do think that they could just do a straight swap, and Keon goes back to his 45, 50 scores and loses your money and you just regret buying him, not being that keeper that you think. But I also do think that there is a world where both Keon and Cam Murray play lock, or one of them plays prop, one of them plays lock, or there is a world again where Keon starts 20 on the edge and then goes 60 through the middle. But yeah, I've got him as an avoid for now. And Michael Cheekham has been spoken about a bit. He is starting this week with a 14 break even of 413k. There has been a bit of talk about him. I do believe he is starting in the second row. Let me just check that quickly. Sorry. Where's the Rabbitohs team? Well, Saturday, 3 o'clock. That'll be a good game. I do think the West Tigers will have a bounce back. But yeah, Michael Cheekham's playing. I'm starting at 12. The 14 break even. When playing on the second row, you see a big average of 37.2. And if I filter it over 50 minutes, it's a 37.9. So yeah, Cheekham's someone I've been very interesting. He could be a centre keeper considering he's got scores of 51, 52, 40s. Very consistent, anywhere from about 35 to 50. Looks like his max. Yeah, good draw there. Cheekham, someone of interest. If you're looking for that edge and centre replacement for Ewan Aiken, he could be very interesting. Personally, I think he's an avoid though. But if you're suiting him with Tungo, I do think Michael Cheekham has the edge just with that dual position and being a little bit cheaper, considering he plays 2 further in spots than Tungo does. Payne Haas hasn't been listed this week. He's been listed on the reserves. 56 break even. I think Payne's close to a must buy this week or next week, considering his break even's low and he's about to, I think, burst onto the scene to make the Broncos top 8 finals team this year. But 830k. Payne Haas is an absolute gun. If you can bring him in, he'll do you well. He's been a gun for as many years as we know. 3-year average, a prop of 63.6, and that includes injured games. When playing over 50 minutes, I'd put it at kind of 65.1. We've seen these last couple of games, he's gone massive minutes with a 71, a 59, an 80 in there, 69, 62. We all know, yeah, Payne can pump out massive minutes where he looks like an absolute gun. So, yeah, I think Payne is close to a priority, but bring in this week. Along with Isaiah Yeo next week, though, 65 break even, a little bit higher for him, but he's been killing it recent. I do think, yeah, you look at the 61.4 average. At the start of the season, he was killing it. Kind of got a bit lower minutes, around 14, backing up from Origin, around 17, backing up from Origin, and not selected this week, which I think is just good signs for Isaiah Yeo, considering the fact that he'll play 80 minutes from round 21 to round 26, and maybe not play round 27. But I do think, yeah, Yeo will be a keeper. If you can put a Haas and a Yeo combination along with, for me, I've got Keon. That's 3 massive middles that you're looking at. But yeah, I kind of don't understand why Isaiah Yo isn't really relevant. Like a lot of the top teams should have him. I'm a bit surprised that 27.62% of the top 5,000 don't own. I'm sorry, own Isaiah Yo, considering his consistency, loves to break tackles. Looks pretty much got a base of about 35 tackles and 150 meters. When he put a couple of tackle busts in there, a couple of offloads, he's an absolute gun. So I think when Isaiah Yo comes back at 774K, you eat him up, considering the fact that you've got like Mitch Barnett more expensive than him, and you've got Connor Watson more expensive than him, and I do think that he will be score better than both of them. Isaac Tungo, 422K for 27 break even. Um, there is a it's, everyone thinks he's a bring in just because of his average with Nathan Cleary is a 41.3, and if you filter it by 7 minutes, it's a 43.3. But when you put it without Cleary, it's a 43.2 without Cleary. But yeah, Tungo, I mean, with Cleary, he's a lot better on that right edge. Still very inconsistent with a 19, a 31, 32, a 32, a 25, a 41, a 32, 22. But I mean, with their draw coming up, Tungo is a very interesting option. But again, I just put Cheecam, considering I think he'll have more of a base than Tungo, and that Cheecam's got the duel, he's cheaper, and I think that they have more chance to score edge tries than I think the Panthers will, because like I mean, there's risk that if Nathan Cleary gets injured again, Tungo goes back to playing some of his bad footy, which he was playing, where he went 41, 51, 14, 55, 29, 24, 28, 23, 34, 42. It's just a couple of yak scores, and they've only 2 tries. One of them getting a 14, and one of them putting a 55 in there. But yeah, that was a terrible run, which saw Isaac Tungo. I don't think you can go wrong with him, but I don't think he'll make as much money as everyone thinks, and he'll only average around 40 for the remainder of the season. Ola Kawatu at 647K is a very interesting option. A break even of 45. I do think that Ola Kawatu should be someone targeted by everyone's team. With the round 22 bye coming up, I do understand why you're a bit cautious if you're a Garrick owner, along with a Cherry Evans owner, Simpkin owner, and you're looking to bring in Ola Kawatu. But yeah, this one playing over 60 minutes on the edge. He has an average of 52.5, which makes him underpriced. And I mean, we know what he can do. He's gone a 70, a 54, a 39, a 62, a 57, a 63, a 56, a 49, a 68, a 40, a 65, a 64, and a 43. Very consistent and a gun edge player. I do believe that with him playing next to Daly Cherry Evans, it only means for good stuff to happen to him. There's a couple of games with low run meters, which is the kind of the games he goes lower. But I mean, I think that Ola Kawatu will be the 3rd best edge you can go with. I think I've got Fafita, Angus Crichton, Ola Kawatu, Eli Katoa. I just feel like at that price, he's probably a better buy than both of those, Fafita and Angus Crichton scorers. He's probably the only 3rd just because he's not as consistent and he doesn't have as bigger games in him. But yeah, I really like Ola Kawatu as a buy, considering like look here, he's got a couple of 39s, a couple of 40s in there, but I mean he's got the very consistent 70s too, and he's playing on a very good Sea Eagles right edge. Saab, Garrick, DCE, and Ola Kawatu, which is just a lot of attacking stats for him. Cameron Murray is someone I've actually got as a buy this week at 678K. I think he's a bit he's definitely underpriced, 55 break even. He is playing at the second row, which he doesn't score his best in. He's scored a 52, a 66, a 73, a 54, a 53 there, but I mean, there's a couple of lock games where he's played there, and if he definitely moves back to lock, he'll be a unreal buy. But at edge, if he gets that dual position, you could probably wait a week and see how he goes. But again, against the West Tigers, he could have a few attacking stats, and yeah, I think I would see how Origin goes and see if he will back up, and if he'll play big minutes. But I think maybe putting him on the edge is more of a we'll try to play you 80 minutes as an edge where you don't work as hard through the middle. And then round 21, we'll put Keon back to the edge, considering Keon said he wants to go back to the edge, and Murray is close to one of the best middles in the game, which is where I think that if you buy Murray, he will score you well because he'll have that middle and edge duel, and I think that middle is very handy. And I mean, like he's been 850, 900K. When you look at his scores at lock playing think he'll have to play over 60 minutes if they want to make the finals. You see, he has a career average of 61.1, which puts him severely underpriced and puts him first, probably the third best mid for this season behind Haas and Yo. But it's just a matter of fact if he's going to get that middle spot. So I don't know if I would buy looking at until he gets listed at the 13th spot consistently. Tom Starling, I still got as a very good buy, -2 break even. And yeah, we've spoken about him a lot on this podcast. He played 80 minutes with Danny Levi coming out on the weekend. We played 76 last weekend. He tackles so well. Just yeah, when playing over 60 minutes, he averages 56.9 with a 99 in there and a low score of 31. Rest being 50s and 60s. I do think Tom Starling is an absolute gun. I do think it does come with some risk. But at 372k, I don't think there's much to lose on Tom Starling, considering that starting this week, I think that the Raiders will get a win this week against the New Zealand Warriors, which just means that, oh yeah, it's better for Tom Starling going forward. And I think Danny Levi's not playing his best. And we saw him go to lock for about 10, 15 minutes, which I do think that if he can keep that rotation 60 minutes at hooker and then 10, 15 minutes at lock, it'll just be, yeah, really good for Tom Starling. But I do have him, yeah, still as a buy and not a cash down anymore, 372k, but someone that you can move on from like a Jaden Brayley and have 200k left over. Tom, yeah, it does come with some risk considering it's Ricky Stewart and he's changed the hooker so much between Zach Wolford, Tom Starling, and Danny Levi. And he's never really been a consistent starter. Like if you look at him playing with the interchange bench, he's played 100 games and he's got about, I reckon, 80, 70 there. But I mean, we all know he's a gun when he gets that starting spot. So if he can keep it, he'll be an absolute gun, and you'll be missing out on him. Mitch Barnett with a 10 break even. Yeah, he's been playing at the prop rotation now and recently, with Mitch Barnett averaging a 49.9 when playing at the prop position. This is with a 75 and 110 in there, along with a couple of 50s. But just for me, Mitch has never really killed it at the prop position. I feel like this is kind of an outlier over the last couple of weeks. I mean, 5 offloads there. You've never seen that in Mitch's game before. Before that 75 and 110, he had a high score of 63 with a second high score of 57 and a lowest of 23. He has put out a 33 and 72. I do think that if you were looking at David Feeder, Angus Crichton, and Mitch Barnett stuck in that to stick on that edge spot, I would definitely not be going with a Mitch Barnett, as I probably have him as the 5th best option in that edge and middle. I mean, I've got Key on there too, probably above him, considering that 807k is a lot to pay. Probably get to 850, probably put out a 50 this week, and then, yeah, 850k, and he's made your money, but I don't think it's very sustainable for Mitch Barnett. Although, on the good side, he will have to play massive minutes where you have seen the last 2 big scores come with a 75 and 110 and 72 and 83 minutes, but he played 70 minutes of prop against the Knights and he only put out a 34. And yeah, but with Tohu being injured, I think that he might have to step up and play 65 to 70 minutes. But I also do think that is good for Adam Fanua-Blake. So personally, yeah, I'd go Adam Fanua-Blake over Mitch Barnett. Ewan Aiken, 91 break even, 695k now. Out for the season, then putting out a 5. I think that Ewan is just now a sell. It's not that much to say. He's ruptured his pec. And yeah, that's pretty much it. He's just a sell. Same with Max King. He's getting wrist surgery, 30 break even after going to 66 and a 74. But yeah, unfortunate to say he is out for the season. I was 6 to 8 weeks, which is pretty much the fantasy season done. So that means Josh Curran takes the starting spot, and it's time to part ways with Max King. Api Korosak to 623k is someone very interesting. 46 break even, and he got injured in that last game, which is why he only played 57 minutes. But I mean, we all know what Api can do with 74s there, 88s there, a couple of big scores, but it seems big, small. Like you see a 28 in 70 minutes. For me, Api is goal kicking, but he is on the emergencies this week. So I do really, really like Api Korosak to Tom Starling as a trade option this week. Just considering the fact that Api is playing on a weakened West Tigers side, not a Penrith Panthers side where he can get the easy attacking stats. They have a pretty tough draw, and who knows how much his calf really, really affects him. I just think it's a luxury hold personally, but it's a luxury trade. if you sell him to Tom Starling, but that's what I would look to do. Just considering, I do think Appy, if he is fit, he will come in definitely. But who knows? Talon De Silva could stint him, and Appy has never really been relevant in 55 to 60-minute games, and he's that 80 to go big. I mean, that 88 is something that is big, but just for me, it's like he misses so many tackles in there. He's got 7, 6, 8, 6, 6, 7, 9, 10, 5, 6. Oh, it's so many for me, which as an Appy owner would really, really put me just really angry. He's a bit like the Reed Marnie. He gets a lot of attacking stats, but they're not really suitable. But with him goal kicking, I mean, I think it's hold or sell just depending on what your team needs. But Brennan Hand, 400k. I think now with Matt Offer there, his time has kind of come. You look at him in the 2023-4 season when playing. He has a 36.8 average with 55 in there, 43, 41, but it's just a 28, a 21. And he started, he missed 8 tackles a lot those last 2 weeks. We've only missing 1 against the Titans. But for me, Brandon, he's got that dual position, but I think it's time with Tom Starling being cheaper than Brandon Hands. I think if you're looking for that hooker to hold for the rest of the season, it could be Tom Starling at a discount price, and you save 25k by selling Brandon Hands to him, who is not playing this week, and you're bringing in a green tick who is starting and has shown that he can score big points in 60 minutes. Along with, I mean, they still got Lustig there, and they still got Matt Arthur, which I think that it just stints Brendan Hands, and who knows what the Eels can do. They've been so inconsistent with their players. So I do think that is Brendan Hands just is a sell. Along with I do think Keeney is a hold now that he's been put in the fullback spot. Fair dinkum there. Very interesting scores. He's gone 18, 18, 26, 37, 80, 36, 85, 85, 62, 16 this season. If you're a holder of him at 868k, you're very, very happy with what he's been able to put out. But 53 break even now. He is still starting, so I do think that you do hold him, and maybe you look to reassess if AJ Brimson doesn't come in for him, because I think if Brimson comes in for him, then you could almost sell him to a Garrick, him to a Turbo, him to a DCE, him to an Olakawatu, considering they're playing the Sea Eagles, and that'll be a safe game. But I just think, you hold him, see what happens with AJ Brimson. But I do think that if he keeps his position, he will. I don't think he'll average 80 and 60 how he's been scoring, but I think he'll have a comfortable 55 to 40, 45 to 50 average. I mean, he is a gun player, and we've seen what he can do. But I do, definitely a hold if until AJ Brimson takes the spot full time. Blake Lange, 478k. Looks to have locked down that wing spot. Look how many positions he's played already. Played in the centres for a 33. Personally, I have Blaze as either a hold or a sell. 31 break even. The dual position is nice. Personally, in my team, I'm selling him just because I don't have a full abundance of players, and I don't think Eero was a sell, considering he just scored 61, and he's playing on a wooden spoon Eels team who has a very tough draw, considering they got Melbourne, Warriors, Penrith, Sydney, Broncos. Last 5 of them are about top 8 teams, and I think they all were top 8 teams last year. So for me, I just think Blaze, it's kind of his time's come. He's made you good money, and if you can pivot him onto a casher, I mean, I've been talking about him a lot, but Tom Starling or other players, it's a good move. Just for me, Blaze needs tries to score big. He has 1.3 try, and when playing over 50 minutes, he has a 0.8 try rate, which I think when he doesn't score those tries, it'll be a low games for Blaze Talangi. And I do think it's time to sell him now. He's done a good job. An interesting option is Dylan Lucas. When filtering him over under 50 minutes, which is what I think he will be playing. Sorry, filtering over under 60 minutes. Oh, interesting. Yeah, he only averaged 25, which one of them being he got moved to the centres in this game. So I don't think you can really tell much there. But 22 of 27 and 21 and 29, they're very good PPM. But now that Lucas is coming off the bench, and it looks like they've kind of held the position. I mean, when he's playing second row, he's an absolute gun with a 52.5 average, and even at centre, he has a 56 average. I mean, if Gaga and Best don't back up, you'd very much look at him. But with them being named, Or you wouldn't look at him, but you look to hold him. But with them being named and him coming off the bench, I do think he'll get 50 minutes, which I do think he can score a 40 in those 50 minutes, but he loses money now, and it's his money will start falling. But I think the one thing that he has going for him is that if he gets that second row spot back, and maybe Tyson Frizzell goes to the middle, or gets injured, or Kai Paul gets injured, or he just gets it back, it's like Dylan Lucas will score well. I don't really understand why he's been dropped. He's one of their very best players, in my opinion. And yeah, if he gets that sign spot back, I think it'll be looked at. But I would hold this week and reassess after on his bye. So Ryan Pappenhausen at 564k, break even of 32. When playing at fullback, he has killed it. But I mean, for Pappenhausen, it's just very inconsistent and a lot of injuries. He has played 16 and 18, and he had that round 19 off, which I just do think help him with a somewhat easy draw going. Sydney, Para, who's bottom eight, St George, who I think will be bottom eight, Rabbits, who I think will be bottom eight, Penrith, Dolphins, who I think are middle of the pack, Cows, who are middle of the pack, and Bronx, who are middle of the pack. Nothing really there for him to take. And with Cam Munster being back around the corner, I just think it comes better for Pappenhausen, with him having a career average of 54 with Munster and a 49.4 without Munster. It just seems that they're better team with Munster, and he scores a lot. Like this team, he can do 102, 124. There's no doubt about it that he's 87, 73, 62, 75, 71, 81. There's no doubt about it about what player Ryan Pappenhausen is, and you get him at a discount for 564k. And I'm just calling it here. Pappenhausen will score 80 plus this week. I'd put Pappenhausen as a buy over this guy for 4k more expensive with a 44 break even. Hanaso is a very interesting option, but when playing at fullback and playing big minutes there, he has an average of 40.4, which it's not bad, but for me, it's just a try scoring rate. Like, he has a 0.7 try scoring rate, which scores a hat trick, gets 68, scores a double 56. He just really needs those tries to boost into the 50s. Like, even he got a 30 with a try, or he got a 52 for try, 44 for try, 38 with nothing. But it's like, kind of for me, it's yes, he's got the duel for you, but he also really, really needs that needs those tries for me. I think, like in the centers, he's got nothing there. So Hammer's a very good player, but I'd have Pappenhausen just considering the fact that he is more base, and I think he has more attacking stats. Like, he gets more try assist, and he runs more. He gets more tackle bust. He gets more offloads, and he could get goals back if Wishart was to get dropped when Munster's back and Meany gets an injury. But yeah, for me, it's just, I know his duel's handy, but I just don't really think going there is a very smart option. Daly Travens is a massive pod at 38 break even. He has kind of come back to the he's kind of been killing it recently with a 76 and a 69. Very inconsistent this year. But I mean, Daly, he has a career average of 57.1 when playing at halfback. He's an absolute gun. Again, if there's an injury to Garrick, he'll go to the goal kicking spot. And it's just Gold Coast. I think they've got them at bottom 8. Sydney will be top 4. Canberra bottom 8. Warriors, I've got bottom 8. Tigers bottom 8. Canterbury top 8. And I've got Cronulla actually dropping out of the bottom 8. So I do think that that's a very good draw for Daly Travens with them playing good footy, Turbo being back. And I think, like, there's a lot on Daly Travens' shoulders for them to make the 8 this year. It'll be big for them. And I think that he'll take confidence for away after Queensland win the State of Origin series, which they're obviously going to win. And I just think, yeah, it's a cheap option considering he started the season at 877k after killing it last year at the back end, which is something to look at again. He's gone after backing up from Origin, he's gone 54, 73, 50, 42, 88, 68, 102, 98, which all resulted in wins, I believe. Yeah, all that one was the win. But most of them resulted in wins, which saw the Seagulls, I think, get close to the 8. But that's something to look at. Him just easing up after Origin, and he's eased up in Origin in his career before. Like, it's hard to say, but I do think that he will score as well as Nathan Cleary for the next 3 weeks, and he'll make you more money than Nathan will lose you. And I think that Nathan will be about 760k when you can pick him up with that 92 break even. And Daly Travens is a very good ultimatum for Nathan Cleary. Harry Grant, 59 break even. He's actually someone I've got as a buy this week. I do think that he will be playing 60 minutes. He's so important for this Storm team. When playing over 60 minutes, he had a 58.9 average. But this the thing for me is when playing in the 2024 season, he only has a 51.2 average, which still puts him underpriced by 4 points. But it's just the lack of big games for Harry. Like, I think if you saw these scores and then you saw Harry having a couple of 80s in here, I don't think you'd be pissed off. But with him averaging 50.2, I still don't think it's very bad for the season at all. You see 66 with 2 tries there, 61 with 0. Like, it hasn't been Harry's finest season, missing 4.2 tackles, and yeah, not really running the ball as much or kicking the ball as much and getting as many attacking stats, try, assist, or anything. But I do think that I do think Queensland will win the Origin series, which Harry will take a lot of confidence out of that. And I think that he's just too good of a player that is at a like that Evans. He's underpriced compared to the top players like Damien Cook, or Reed Marnie, or Reece Robson. He's cheaper than all of them. And I think he's going to finish the next 8 rounds as the highest averaging hooker, which is the Fanatics prediction. Ali Latua, very good player. He's been on my radar for ages. 12 break even, and we've seen what he can do. Center, when playing a center, he has a 40 average. Listed a center this week. 320k is a bit cheap for him. But I mean, it comes with a lot of risk. I don't know who actually makes way for him. But he's got the wing fullback, so he should get the center duel there. But I do think it does come with some risk considering that. But it's tough because they do need the win every game. I don't think he has a spot for long enough, personally, Ali. And it'll be a red dot on your team for the rest of the year, and he's not cheap enough to be a cash down. But if he gets a spot, I think he'll be a gun. So 49 break even for John Bateman, who has returned back to the second row from injury, where when playing over 70 minutes, because I think he's going to be playing 80 minutes, his career average of 57. There's no doubt about it that John is an absolute stud when playing there. Just for me, it's a bit he's on a lackluster Tigers team where you see these big games here on the Tigers. He moved to the lock position, and he gets Isaiah Papali'i back, which, I mean, he could go back to lock position with Samuel Afeinu playing very well. He hasn't got Isaiah Papali'i back yet, but no tries for him, and a couple of injuries. I mean, he's actually someone that I'm looking at as bring like an antipod to David Fafita, Ola Kawatu, that leaves you with that bit more money that you can use next week. But I mean, it's tough to kind of bring him in, just considering he hasn't really done well. This 39 to 49, and then he got that 24-15 there, a couple of injuries in there, a few head knocks. But yeah, 587k is definitely very cheap for John Bateman's pedigree, and he'll be a massive pod. And if you can fit him in, and if you can justify wasting a trade on someone that will probably not be a keeper, then I do it. And yeah, that's pretty much all we got time for. Thanks for listening, guys. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one.